Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. Today I have some updates for you. I feel like I haven't recorded in forever, and I guess I haven't in a while. I've just had stuff happening. I've been overwhelmed. I've been helping a friend with her store. I've got taxes due. Mostly the paperwork part of taxes is due. We had the remnants of Ian came through here. It wasn't a hurricane, it was just a nor'easter by the time it got here where I live. It's just, you know, things have been happening and I was overwhelmed, and there's only so much time in a day, basically. So sorry I'm a little late, but you know, here we go. I'm gonna get back in the swing of this. When Hurricane Ian became a nor'easter, and I'm very fortunate, I'm not complaining at all. My property is fine, my life is fine, everything is fine, really. The only thing that happened was I'll put some footage up here for you. One of my greenhouses had blown across the yard, and then the other one, the one that I had the bulk of my plants in, the front caved in and the doors blew off. I mean, it's still standing there, that one's fine. I had it tied down with hurricane straps and things like that. But, so I'm not really complaining about it. It's just that I took all the plants in because it was in the 40s here at night then, which, I mean, it's probably 60 outside right now, so go figure. But, so we brought all my plants in, which would normally take 2, 3, 4 weeks for me to clean them all and bring them in. We just brought them all in. So they were kind of all over my house for a while, because we literally, I mean, it was a lot of plants. Here's some footage of my dining room. So I went from, I don't know, 200-300 plants in my house to 500, like that. And I guess around 500, I don't know, I haven't really counted. None of my kids have counted in over a year. But anyway, I didn't really get to make the video as I wanted to make, you know, of what I would do when I'm bringing them in. I guess you saw some of it already. If you've been with me a little while, I did make a video kind of me treating some for pests that were indoors, but as far as the ones that I bring from outdoors in, basically I will clean them up, you know, any debris or anything that's on them. I will literally wipe down every leaf, repot it if it needs repotting, pole it, trellis it, whatever it needs, I'll do all that. I didn't get that done, obviously, because we just brought them all in. So I've still got a lot to do, and there's still plants everywhere, and they'll stay there pretty much until I have time to go through and do all the things that need to be done, you know, before I put them in with the rest of my collection or in their, you know, winter spots, because I don't really want to introduce pests to the plants that are already in those spots, or, you know, whatever. So what's in today's video is basically some updates. Got a lot going on. I'll show you what I can, and then I will take you down off there and we'll go look at some stuff as well. I think that might be the best method of attack for this. I'm going to start with, I guess, the Hoyas that are in this room. I'm not really doing every single one because I am going to do an updated plant tour very soon, where I will go and show you every single one of my Hoyas, every single one of my Philodendrons, and, you know, we'll break it up that way again, just for it to be more palatable. I don't know if a 5-hour long plant tour video is kind of a thing that anybody would be into, but that would be really hard for me to upload, and since I'm out in the country and I don't have high-speed internet, here we are. So I actually have a picture of this Hoya when I got it. This is the Hoya, it was labeled Pusilla, P-U-S-I-L-L-A, and I guess it's also called Nabawinensis, or maybe now it's called Nabawinensis. Maybe I'm going backwards with that, I'm not sure. It is not, the trellis is not in the pot well. But like over here, picture of when I got this plant, it was this year. I believe it was Mother's Day, so May, and it's currently the beginning of October. And I've chopped this plant because I tried to propagate it. Didn't do well. I put it in stratum, and it was one of those things that was just like wait and wait and wait, and roots never grew. I think after about 2 months, I gave up on it. And I just pitched it because I gave up. I haven't even cleaned this guy up, but it's like, it's a grower. All these leaves across the top here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's 9 currently growing that are not hardened off yet. They're still very soft. Like, that's incredible. That is incredible that it wants to grow like that. And then you can see on this vine here also, there's a bunch of new leaves growing at the same time. It's an overachiever. this plant is. So if you want a fast growing Hoya, this is definitely my top 3 fastest growing. If you had any curiosity as to the other two, Hoya Bella and Hoya Polyneura. Fast growers. I did just recently show this Hoya. This is a laconosa I bought, and it just said variegated Indonesian Hoya. Laconosa croniana, not 100% sure. Not even 100% sure that croniana and laconosa are distinctly different. You can argue with me in the comments if you want, I don't know. I remember saying when I hauled it, there's no variegation on this. It's like a dark leaf splashy Hoya. And then I did show it, maybe in my last video. But I know somebody looked at it and probably went, oh, that poor girl, that's not variegation. Those leaves are dying. But they continue to grow. They continue to grow. Like, they're on there. Poke test, pull test, tug test. I mean, they're on there. They're growing. I don't know if this light is blowing it out. They look very, very either white or yellow to me in the preview. But, I don't know. It's one of them things, we're just going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep watching it. Like I said, so far, still growing. So, we'll see what it do. And then, these are the cuttings that I bought that are variegated. Why am I so blown out? Goodness, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. They're cute, right? I think they're cute. I don't know if we're focusing, but it's really cute. They're not really doing anything yet. They have some root growth on them that I can see, but no new growth as far as topside. So, cute though. Seems like I don't have a lot of Hoya updates. I do, but a lot of that'll be in the tours that I am preparing to bombard you with. This is the Okinawa Silver that I just got in Virginia Beach in August. I think it's put out 3 leaves. It was working on this one, I believe, when I brought it home. My husband picked it. He looked at this leaf and went, yeah, that's the one you should get. I was like, okay. So after that, it did put this one out, and then this is the newest leaf here. And I'm like, okay, my husband did a good job. Isn't that funny how the white part just stopped growing there? It was just like, yeah, that's good enough. I mean, I don't care. It's beautiful. Like, it has that, it's got like 3 different shades of green on there, as well as the white, if I can get it without it being blown out. I'm sorry, I'm not used to shooting in such like a dark location. I turned that light off because it washes me out, and then I've got the ring light on, and I'm not a pro. I'm barely an amateur. But it's so pretty, and it's doing really well. I got this from Chimera Tropicals. Chimera is not a word I use often, so I had to think. But yeah, that's what it's called. Beautiful. And they are on Instagram, by the way, Chimera Tropicals. And then this here, I hauled this, I believe, at the beginning of the summer. This is Philodendron El Choco Red. When I first got it, it had, I think, 1 leaf, and then it immediately spit one out. I had it about 3 days, and I was looking at the soil. I was like, wow, that's really wet, and that, you know, the new leaf doesn't look great. None of the leaves look great. So I pulled it up out of that soil. It was sopping wet, and the roots, there weren't any. There were no roots. So I, you know, cut off anything mushy, cleaned it up, and I stuck it in. I think I just put it right back in soil in a much smaller pot. And then it grew 3 or 4 leaves. And then all of a sudden one day I'm looking at it again, and I'm like, what is going on? Why does it look so droopy? I just watered that. It still didn't have any roots. It still didn't have any roots. So I've cut off what was left of the leaves. You know, they were all in kind of shape. And it put out 1 leaf before this one since then. And that one kind of just rotted. But we have roots. We do have roots in there. Here and there. In the handy dandy McDonald's cup. It's just perlite and stratum that I've got it in. But it seems to be doing good. I'm just going to leave it in here indefinitely. At this point. This is a little Monstera Aria baby. It was attached to the stump forever, and I finally set it free. It's probably been a couple months. I think it was 2 leaves. Yeah, it was just these first 2 leaves when I set it free. There's one, and this is the other one. But yeah, I mean, it's so pretty. Like, the variegation is so great on this. I have, if you've seen my Monstera tours, or maybe one of my favorites videos, it's probably the big one has probably appeared in there. The leaves are pretty big on that. It's a sibling to this plant. This one is just much more immature, which is funny because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves. Those have 7. It's 2 cuttings in one pot together, and I think they have 7 to 8 leaves, something like that. Two together. I don't know. But this is fantastic. This is beautiful, and I love it. And I'm waiting for this new leaf. Anyway, I show it because when it was still a 2-leafer, I was gonna sell it because it had like a little bit of root on it. I was just like, oh, I can, you know, just let that go. It seems like this plant, people seem to be looking for it more now than they were when I got mine, which is only a few years ago, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't list it because, I mean, this is going to be a stunning plant. It's going to be so pretty. It has better variegation than either of my other 2, which, I mean, I think they're fair, but this is like, whew, chef's kiss. So pretty. So I'm excited to see what that new leaf looks like. This plant seems to have a pattern of half variegated, full variegated, half variegated, full variegated. So I'm betting this one will be half variegated. What do you think? Could be wrong. Plants that I hauled, that I killed, I'll give you a quick rundown of some of them. The purple passion vine, not the variegated one, that one's alive. The all purple one, killed it. Hoya australis lisa, which I didn't haul that. I've had that for 3 years, maybe? And I've struggled with it all 3 years. I just kind of quit caring whether it made it or not. I quit trying to repot it. I quit trying to save it. So the mother plant is gone. I still have propagations here and there that seem to be doing fine. I don't know. I've always struggled with Hoya australis lisa. I have a green one. It's fine. All of the ivy, all of the Hedera helix, I think I got 3 or 4 different kinds. They're all toast. All of them. Every single one of them's gone. Who else did I kill this year? I had a Philodendron red sun, red moon, the cheaper of the 2, that one. I gave up on that because it had a fungal infection, I'm pretty sure. It was like, it looked like rust spots. And I was treating it with, I believe, copper fungicide that said that it would treat rust. And it would kind of go, like the new leaf would come out and it would be beautiful for a few weeks, even though I was constantly treating this thing, and then it would be spotty again. So I gave up on that because I've had a few different Congos, particularly like a red Congo. It was huge, but I fought for 5 years with these fungal spots on this thing, and it was driving me nuts. So, you know, if it's got a fungal issue or a bacterial issue, I'm out. I'm out. I don't have that kind of time investment. I'm not doing it. Who else is toast this year? I don't know, that might be it. And I'll show you 2 Anthuriums. One's right here, but I'm going to show you the smaller one first because I don't have to tote that too far. This one here, I did try to pollinate that. That didn't go well. You can see it did not take, see how it's turning yellow? That's going to die off. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to pollinate this as well, I'm going to collect the pollen from that one and we'll just sit it out and see what happens. You know, if we get any more flowers anytime soon from this dude. It's also putting out a new leaf at the same time, which is very weird looking, but kind of cute. Kind of cute. One thing I like about this Anthurium, it's Villanorum, I don't know if I said that, is it has like a like a triangular stem. Can we see up in there at all? Like, it is very sharp edged, very crisp lines under there. So that is really cool. I kind of like that about this Anthurium. Well, that and it's just lovely. I think in the video where I hauled it, somebody said, wow, you could never convince me that it's not a philodendron. Kind of agree. It does have a very philodendron look to it, doesn't it? But yeah, Anthurium. It's cool. Another Anthurium would be this guy right here. This is Anthurium Hooker Eye. And I see people bring these home all the time. And I'm like, wow, that's such a cute plant. And they're like, yeah, it's, you know, it'll fit on my bookshelf. Not for long. Not for long. They're growers. It's in like a huge pot. I mean, can you see how big this pot is? This is an enormous plant. This is not going to live on your bookshelf for very long. Unless you've got a really big bookshelf with huge books. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. It's done pretty well. I left some of the gnarly growth on, but we've had a lot of really pretty new growth this year. And I didn't fry it quite as bad in the greenhouse this year as I have some other years. So this actually really needs a repot. Like, this pot is tight and there's roots all over the top. So I guess I'll burn that bridge soon. This actually looks like a two-headed monster now that I'm looking at it. It looks like it's split off at some point. Fun. Okay, and then one more philodendron lower down here. One that I've complained about, cried about, boohooed about. Philodendron Florida Ghost. And I've shown this plant not that long ago, I feel like. Was it this particular one? I don't know, but it's gorgeous. I have a lot of babies of this plant. Is that spider mites? No. Okay. And this is the newest leaf on it. Very pretty. Very blown out, but it is actually quite white. Maybe the palest green. But yeah, that's a beautiful plant. It's actually behaving itself and it's making me very happy right now. I'm gonna slap this on a pole soon. You can see it's got some extra floral nectaries on there maybe. It's a very sticky plant. But it's lovely. It's finally behaving. Finally. It's also very dry. But yeah, I had such a problem getting just one to grow up. They kept like growing in clumps, which that's fine, but I just want, you know, a plant so that I can actually see what's going on. One can be dominant, and I don't have 5 different plants competing to use the same root system, basically, which is, I think, what's going on with the 2 or 3 cups of Philodendron Florida Ghost that I have left in there. They were propagations, and they have just gone nuts. Each cup probably has 4 or 5 in it at this point, again, so. Is that it? Okay, so I think that's it down here, in here, at least until we get into the tour. Let's go pop upstairs and see the mess I've made up there. Gus, as usual, hanging out with the plants in the laundry basket, chilling. So this squamiferum flowered, but this inflorescence here, I say flowered, this only opened for 1 day, and there was no pollen or anything. And then you can see it's growing another one back there. I don't know. So I missed the chance to pollinate that, or to take pollen from that. I think the only pollen I have is like from a philodendron moonlight or something, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to pollinate it with itself, so I was hoping to collect pollen from that inflorescence, but that didn't happen, so whoops. Alocasia regal shield in here. Looking a little wonky because it was mashed up against the window, but it is growing a new leaf down in there. It's so pretty. It's very pretty. Back in there, it's Jose Bono. That was the most recent leaf there, I believe. But we've got another one coming here. I'm excited to see that. Sorry about the weird shadows, but yeah, I'm excited to see that. In love with this Philodendron Bloody Mary back here. The newest leaf on the Philodendron 69686, which this is the biggest leaf I've had on mine so far. I'm trying to figure out how can we show how huge that is. Well, Huge for mine. Beautiful though, still glossy and green. And then, if I can find a picture of this Hoya obovata when I got it, this is a propagation. This one does not have any peduncles or anything, but it's doing really, really well. That's the Hoya Sunrise there that I hauled a few months ago. It's done fantastic. It's kind of growing everywhere. Pardon the blurple light. It's what I have for now, until I order some more. Silver sword down there. A Plowmanii propagation. It's doing really well. Let's see if we can see it without the blurple. Oh, hey. Okay, yeah, it's doing really well. I think this is the newest leaf here. And then there's this one. And the oldest one is kind of back there hanging out. Bertoniae, I think Affinity there. Propagations. Pachyclada. It's got that sun stressing that I like around the edge. That purpley pink color. Love it. Kentiana, haven't killed it yet, or Wayeti, I'm not sure. I think they're the same thing. I don't know, convince me otherwise type thing. The newest leaf on my crystallinum, looking pretty good so far. This plant hates me. And then this is the Philodendron Lynette that I just got. This was the newest leaf when I got it. This is the one coming in right now. So it's a lot wider. Could be my conditions, huh? I don't know. Not extremely familiar with this plant, but it's lovely. So lovely. Also already has a new growth point there. Cool, cool. There's my slightly angry Syngonium albo, which it's lovely. I say it's angry because this was on a wooden dowel that just snapped. It was up here and I heard something go thunk up while I was downstairs, so I come up here and looked, and this guy was laid right over in the floor. The pot was still upright, but his stick was just toast. So, and this is a plant that it's kind of getting out of control in my house. I have 2 other pots of this other than this one on this pole. The white bits aren't doing so good since I brought it in either. That could be underwatering, could be humidity change, could be a lot of different things. I don't know. That plant hasn't done anything. Xanthosoma, I can't remember who exactly that is, but it's so pretty. And I got rid of the spider mites on it like in 2 treatments when I bought that. I hauled that, had spider mites when I got it. I knew it did, but I just couldn't resist it. And the spider mites were easy enough to take care of, so like it's so pretty. But I don't know, I think it was growing a leaf the first week it was here, and that's it. Not another one since, and I think it's lost 2, and the 3rd is about to go. So, yep. I don't know. Maybe I'm not watering it enough. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't think I water anything enough. This here, it's Philodendron, I want to say bipenifolium. Is that right? Sounds right. It's doing good. It did root into the pole. I think I said that I don't really wet these, and I kind of don't. They get what they get. It's crispy. That is crispy. Oops. I will try to mist it. I will try. Because this is not really the kind where you can just like dump water down there, or it goes down inside there and just floods the pot. Unless you're really careful about it, and I'm not taking 3 hours to wet a pole. So, like the other ones are easier. But yeah, this plant does well. It's got another leaf coming. It has not cared that I brought it in. No crisping, no leaf loss, no yellowing. It's just, it still looks just as good as it did outside in the middle of summer. And then I have this kind of scary terrarium. It's a little overgrown. It's got problems. This is a Laniata. It used to be variegated, Monstera. Not anymore. Now it's just angry. But anyway, this is Micans. And in case you were wondering the difference between micans and melanochrysum, this is melanochrysum and this is micans, both philodendron. And the back and the back. So yeah, there's Standeliana in here. This is an Anthurium gracile, something like that. That's the only surviving varicosum I have under there. It's not looking great, but that's new. Polonia, Pelionia, something like that. Pulchra and Repens. I don't know which one's which. Mangilopothos. There's some begonias that have been kind of trampled under there. Some Hoya laconosa. I don't even know what all's in here. That looks like some Standeliana. Also not doing great. Some more begonia down there. More begonia, some dead leaves. I'm pretty sure I'm going to gut this whole thing and just clean it really well because it's spotty, very spotty. And nothing in here is particularly happy. I mean, it's grown in, it's filled in, but the micans is definitely doing its thing. Like, that's its job. Look how pretty they are. I love philodendron micans. They are gorgeous. So pretty. Pink princess over here. Not looking great. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to uproot this whole thing. And I don't know if I'm going to plant it or just sit pots in there. Decisions. Okay, so that might be the majority of the updates, or at least the ones that are coming to my mind right now. I just wanted to kind of run through some with you, because a lot has happened. But like I said, a lot of it we're also going to see when we go through the plant tour. And like I said, we'll do all Anthuriums one video, all Hoyas one video. We'll break up the philodendrons over a few videos. The Hoyas might actually be more than one video now too. I did my last Hoya collection tour in one video, and I've accumulated some more Hoya since then, so I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching, thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.